on to the second leg.
Let's see if anything changes between these two sides as we go into the second leg of the second semi-final. Mike, Spen, over to you.
Thank you, Rachel. Let's hope for a big finale to this semi-final. Great to see those messages as well from the families. Once again, you forget, that these guys aren't all youngsters. Some of them have got kids themselves and the families themselves. There's a lot of people watching, supporting them from home. Will they make them proud? I'm sure they will, whatever the result, as France look to break into the box. You have to say, until this point at least, Brazilian have done their homework and stopped those threats that caused so many problems for Argentina in the previous game. Unless I eat my words here and France break through. No, once again, Brazil equal to it.
And I like seeing the smiles. That might sound like a funny bit of feedback, but to a certain degree, you still need to be comfortable on the big stage.
Brazil will be fuming if something comes of this, because they had dispossessed France. They overplayed it, ended up going off for a corner. France have had quite a few corners in this tie now. They've not made it count yet, but could this be the moment? Once again, the man of the match, you have to say, Thibaut Courtois, coming up trumps for the Brazilians. France, though, relentless in their pursuit of an opening goal. Biding their time. Henry, looking for an opening. Brazil get it back again. Can they make it stick this time? Every time there's a little bit of a risky pass in there. It's that pressing game you play. You need to get that ball back within the first 3 or 4 passes, don't you? Otherwise they stabilise.
I was just going to talk about that. The counter press from France, it's dangerous. It's aggressive. It's confrontational.
Seeing it again here. Oh, it's a foul.
Nearly on display, Spence.
I think that's a bit harsh there from the referee, if I'm honest.
I will say this, though. If you're Brazil, if you can break through to the midfield and you go quickly, you will have a little bit of chance for a break.
Yeah, we've seen that they can cause problems and pose questions of the French defence. The ball comes into the box there, Rouge Hullet, making that third man run through the middle, but Ballack was there.
That's a good idea. We haven't seen Brazil try to introduce kind of the manual lob there with a triggered run. It didn't work out, but I like it as adding some variety into the gameplay.
Mbappe is such a problem out here. Can he find someone in the box? Varane stops it, but is still alive. De Bruyne can shift it onto either foot there, of course, but just couldn't get the space. It's a long, hopeful punt upfield there from Brazil. They need to keep possession better than that if they're going to break down the French defence. Giving it away here though, Ronaldo, could he hit it? Oh, it's another save! And the goalkeeper's really stealing the headlines in this one.
I was just going to say, maybe the first big mistake from France there. FIFA 101, bad pass out of the back.
All into the box, header, and it's in! And Brazil break the deadlock here! The world champions looking to do it again! 1-0 up, and of course it's that man again, Milinkovic-Savic with the header.
It had to be Savic. You see them isolating, you see them aiming, you see them lobbing it up there. Let them go get it. 6'8". Brand spanking new, and he is causing problems.
And now we've got an opportunity to see what the French are really made of. 1-0 down in the second leg against the #1 ranked team in the world of FIFA, Brazil. Can they find a way to break through the Brazilian defence? They've had chances, Mike.
That's almost too many chances at this point. You could say 2 or 3 that should be sure things. One-on-one with Courtois.
Here we go, ball out wide here. Henry picks it up, goes back, sloppy pass. And if Brazil do win this one, Mike, they'll be thanking a Belgian, won't they? Thibaut Courtois has made a string of sensational saves.
And some of that's some quality goalkeeper movement to go alongside it. It's small steps, subtle details that make a big difference.
Brazil were to get a second here. It could really dampen the hopes of the French. And they're looking for it here with a corner.
We just saw Savic from the spot. He's just a matchup nightmare. He's taller and stronger than all the players on the pitch, so it doesn't feel like a 50-50.
Mbappe. Is that a foul? Ref says no. France back on the ball then. The game's come alive with that goal. As we knew it would, we just didn't know when it was going to come. We didn't know who it would fall to. The flow of the game maybe suggested the French were more likely to break the deadlock, but it was the Brazilians who pulled through. And they've done it so many times before. That's why they are the world champs. They know exactly what to do when it comes to this stage of a tournament.
Well, at the end of the day, it comes down to capitalization, being clinical.
Putting a cross in though, Mike, one thing the French don't do. They don't play those aerial crosses. We've seen so many teams score from it.
Look at this knockdown.
Here we go. They can double their lead here with Henry on the left foot, but Zaha, of all people, stops him. Is that something the French, if you were to criticise their game in any way, you'd say, do they have a plan B? Do they have that second option where if the low pass game's not working, because they've got the players to do it?
I think I'm still critiquing the plan A, and it just comes down to the finishing. They've got into the right locations, the right spots on the virtual pitch. Everything has been on point. Maybe they're not taking advantage of Savic the same way. You can see them targeting him on the Brazilian side. He has been that game changer.
Giving the ball away, France can't afford to do that here. Dembélé! What a strike! And it's a Frenchman that might have just ended the hopes of France with a fantastic outside the boot effort that absolutely rocketed into the top corner.
And you've seen both sides trying to set it up. That ball roll before the Trivela gets it perfect. It's time green. And this is something that Dembélé can do. He doesn't have a weak foot. Remember, you can unlock and open up top drawer, top flight, top corner. And this also puts France into a real situation now. You've got to make significant changes.
And they're doing just that. Some personnel changes on and off the pitch. It's going to be a brothers link up here. The Peixoto boys trying to do it for the family.
You see the substitution, and also you might have noticed they're adjusting that midfield. They're going to push them more to be involved in the attack, including Savic. And we keep bringing up Savic because to start out the tournament, we talked a lot about 2v2s. I had a debate with Alex. I was like, I'm not sure if he's going to make as big of a difference, but he has been a factor in every single matchup.
Is this their way of changing strategy from plan A to plan B? Maybe with Fuma, such a great attacking, skillful, flowing player, he is more likely to play that way. Whereas if you bring different personnel in, it might be more natural for them to use that longer ball option, the cross option, which has worked for Brazil thus far.
Maybe you're just sharing in a little different emphasis of the teamwork. You're already sharing in genetics. Why wouldn't it connect on the virtual pitch? I do expect a little bit of a different approach to some of the attacking positioning, because when you're trying to give Fuma a chance to make something happen, to be special, a lot of that is on the ground. You talked about why aren't we seeing crosses? Why aren't we seeing chip through balls? Why aren't we seeing knockdowns? That's not part of that collaborative effort. This will give you a little bit of a different look, different variety.
Yeah, they've acknowledged the need for change. The question is it too late? Should they have done it at 1-0?
Well, they have a lot of time. And sometimes you don't want to make a drastic shift, a big adjustment, if you're only down a goal, especially considering that France was making the chances. They were getting into those right locations. They had the GPS turned on. If anything, the critique comes down to some of the finishing.
And obviously that second goal for Brazil has come from a defensive error, giving the ball away. You know, Brazil pounced on it. You talk about capitalising on the chances. Brazil have done that in a much better fashion than the French, because the French have still had more chances, I think.
It was a big mistake out of the back, though. Right on the edge of the box. You don't have enough time to move your goalkeeper. Sets it up for Dembélé to do something special.
Can the French get a goal before half-time in this second leg? They don't need to. They can do it all in the second half. They will have time, but it would be a massive statement, and it would be huge for the morale of this French team if they can. There are 4 minutes left. Maybe just 1 or 2 more chances to get that goal before the break. Oh, it's a sloppy pass there, but they'll get another go.
I don't know if they've done anything wrong there either, just an unforced error.
Is this a long throw into the big man? No. Goes short to Mbappe. He finds De Bruyne. Savage. Rashford can't get past the hard. Not the first time he's made a crucial interception for the Brazilian defence. Brazil now just play for this final attack maybe. Not that they need to push it at 2-0 up. But if they can make it 3, it might be enough to get them a spot in the final.
And that build-up, pretty unique. You're going to see 2 players moving. You added in the player lock, which technically adds a 3rd player into the rotation. A lot of simultaneous action going all-inclusive. And again, I bring that up because it shows confidence. They're oozing of some of the extracurricular.
Huge moment here for the entire French booth, Coach Brian included. What can they come up with in the final quarter, if you like, of this 2-legged affair? 45 minutes of FIFA time. What can they do to turn this round? They're 2-0 down against what is officially the best E-Nations team in the world, Brazil, looking to reclaim that title, as we see the slightly sullen face of Fuma there, who's taken himself out of this game.
It's going through a rebrand, according to Spence. I don't think they need to rush anything. They got 45 minutes. It's only a 2-goal deficit. What is important is that they shift the momentum. If they can get a goal, first 20, even 25 minutes, it still gives you plenty of time to build into a couple more attacks and then be able to take those chances. And it also forces Brazil to feel some of that pressure.
You see that star on the French shirt? That means something. Yes, they've won a World Cup. You may remember, actually, they won the World Cup in 1998. This exact game was the final. 2 goals from Zinedine Zidane, 1 from Emmanuel Petit. But it also can signify any nations. They've done it before, Mike. The problem is, so have their opponents. And one of them has got to go.
Brazil's playing a dangerous game, but I see what they're doing. They're teasing it with swinging it around the back, trying to bait France, or try to misposition France to go for additional pressure and then open up lanes of space in behind the defense.
Van Dijk to Davies on this left side, his natural left side for the French. De Bruyne out to Zaha. Great first touch. Do they deliver? Do they start to mix it up here? Are they still going for the low passing game? So far, it's the same as Lloris gets the ball. Obviously a World Cup winner with France. Not as a centre midfielder, though. Henry. Dembele, scorer of that second goal. What a pass that is to an overlapping Frenchman in Camavinga for Brazil. Pull it. Savage. Good passing from Brazilians. Playing with a real confidence now. There's a vim and vigour to their game. Yoga Benito, you could say.
France just needs to give us a little more of that ingenuity, right around the edge of the box, or even going a bit more direct. Sometimes it's a mix and match of that being the most elite of the combinations, where you've got the skills and you've got the pretty portions of FIFA, but you've also got that route one, that knockdown, that whip it across, that put it into the mixer.
It's where we need to see serious composure on display from the French. They can't rush those passes because the clock is against them, because it will come short. At this level, you have to do everything perfectly precise. And that ball, if it was onside, could have been all she wrote. I think it would have been finished.
I expect a formation change. I think that France has got to start pushing some more bodies forward. Again, even if it's a disruptive play to just change or shift a little bit of the flow of the game. Because at some point here, Brazil's got to start sitting a little bit deeper, adding in some additional possession, looking for those maybe deep outlets where they can run into space. We just need that extra resourcefulness from France to make this a little more interesting. Again, 1 goal changes everything. We have seen leads fall apart rather quickly. We've also seen them expand rather quickly. Welcome to FIFA. But we just don't have Brazil feeling any pressure right now.
No, it's true. They need to be taken out of their comfort zone because they are looking comfortable right now. And that's going to take some doing from the French if they're going to get back in this with just 30 minutes of FIFA left, as they switch it over to Zaha on this right side. Still Zaha. They won't cross it, Mike. The run's not been done, so Savage isn't in there anyway.
It's good defense.
In fact, is Savage even on the pitch for the French anymore? I don't think he is. I think he's been taken off for Lloris. Pogba on the ball. They don't need to attack. They're not in a rush. They've earned the right to just stall things here, the Brazilians. But Pogba's fancy footwork almost makes something.
You just see the difference from a Pogba as a winger versus a Dembele. A bigger body, can hold it up a little bit. Again, powerful, been upgraded, has the skills, has the weak foot, has some of that versatility. It's a different body type, a different look, different movement.
Mbappe, what a time this would be to claw one back for the French. Davies in the box. Can he pick someone out? Milinkovic Savage there again. What a game he's having for Brazil.
It's almost trying to be too perfect. I think they had a chance to go down central there as well. They've been going out wide, and you got to give a lot of compliments to Brazil here. They've defended phenomenal.
They've got a man advantage here. If they can get that ball over to the left, they've got the numbers. It's been held up slightly. De Bruyne intercepts.
See a first-time header there from Pogba again.
Ball could have been on through the middle there. Sorry, Mike. The ball might have been on there, but once again they wanted to go out wide instead.
Just don't love that. We're missing some genius. You're missing some of that imagination.
It's very much get the ball to the byline and walk into the box, isn't it? It's been effective for them in previous matches, but I think Brazil have got the antidote for it. They've got numbers here once again if they can switch it.
They've been too reliant on the wing play.
Great ball. The run was ready. Pogba's in there. Opportunities for a third. Zaha stops it, and the keeper eventually catches it, but France are running out of time here.
I expect to see France pivot once we saw the substitution with the double Peixoto action, that we would see maybe a different formation, a different approach to some of the build-up play. It's still too wing heavy.
It's wing heavy, and when it goes out wide, it usually goes one way. It's beat the fullback and then cut it back once you get into the box. They're not looking to play through the middle too much, but they have done here, and no way! Thibaut Courtois has been unreal in this game. There's been probably 3 or 4 chances for France, which on another day, they go in.
He's had everything.
Shout out to the goalkeeper movement, though, of Brazil. Maybe that's been a huge part of it, if that is the underlying factor. De Bruyne here, looking for Ronaldo. Can't find him. Brazil at any moment could end this game. They don't need another goal, but it would seal the deal if they were able to get it. Right now, Brazil will be progressing as things stand into the final for a chance to play for $300,000. More than double what Brazil won this time last year, by the way.
Oh, that's wonderful composure.
And every second that Brazil have the ball is like a dagger in the heart of the French, who need to get it back.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't think France has enough time dealing with the 85th minute, already down on the wing. It's Brazil's throw-in. They've shown a certain level of comfort, confidence. Some of those outlet passes, they're not getting overwhelmed by the press, and some of that's because they have 2 goals. The big takeaway here is that there was a mistake from France that allowed for Dembele to have that outside of the box, that long shot that allowed them to double their lead, but you could tell right when that happened, the dynamic changed, the mindset changed, the confidence shifted. It was a little bit different ambiance in the air and also on the sticks. If you look at what's happened on the virtual pitch from Brazil, they weren't as nervy, they had a little more free flow, a little more fluidity, and they adjusted their attack, possession out of the back and then over the top. These looping over the top through balls where you're looking at Pogba. If you can find Savic, sure, Savic can come down the middle of the pitch. He gives you a release.
I think they have relied on their goalkeeper at times, but they've done a professional job when they've got the chances, they've taken them. And what they've done since going up has been the most impressive, I think. Since getting themselves in that position, they've really just shut France down.
And a lot of France's chances were early on, before the goals. We could talk about Courtois just making a save, but that's pretty much been it. When you're looking at after they had that 2-0 lead for Brazil, it has been a lot less Courtois making these momentous saves and kind of changing the game, as you see in the shielding now.
France get the ball back, and they needed to, and they've got to make it count. They need to score on this attack, because then they've got to do it again. And it's going to take a real Brazilian collapse that I just don't think's coming, Mike, as Brazil get the ball back again. Klosterman, they don't need to cross it in, because it's probably already too late for the French, but they have got it back. Lloris pumps it forward in a very un-French way, because we haven't seen that from them a lot. But it is over. I don't think France will even get 1 goal now. Brazil have done the job. They've done enough to get to back-to-back E-Nations finals. As the French look to half the deficit at least. There's 30 seconds of injury time left on the clock. I don't think it's mathematically even possible for France to get 2 goals now. And it is over. And there it is. And look at the celebrations from the Brazilians. They've brought a carnival to the Middle East, and they're absolutely loving life. And they could win back-to-back E-Nations, Mike. The French, though, heading home, doubling their performance from last year, from top 8 to top 4. Maybe next year will be their year.